in this past year, I was a part of a lot of protests and I was a part of a lot of rallies. And I started seeing a lot of interesting things. I'd go to these protests and I'd go to these rallies and I'd feel great about myself. You know what? I just beat racism. You know what I mean? I'm the least racist guy in the world. Look at me. I'm a brown dude. My name is Abubakar, like the ISIS leader's name. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I can't be racist. So I was going to these things. And then over time, I started realizing, I'm like, but what am I actually accomplishing? What happened? When there was that women's march, when Trump won, what got done? I started meeting people that were a part of the Vancouver Women's March, and I kept finding that it was super divisive. That they were getting into fights because there was a woman of color and then a white woman. You know what I mean? It was getting all over the place. So I started doing more research on protests. I started looking at history and historical facts. Protests were incredible, no doubt about it. But when you look at it now, no one cares. We live in a so-called democracy. The Women's March was that was the most amount of people in the entire world coming together. What got done? Nothing. So I know out in Surrey right now, there was a protest that occurred outside the mosque. And a lot of people were freaking out. A lot of young people are like, what should we do? We gotta go and we gotta create a counter protest. We gotta do another rally. That young woman named Nabra, that young woman that she died, she was murdered. And a lot of people are like, let's do a vigil, which I totally understand. But comparing that to a protest and a rally, they're two different things. So today I want to talk about why I think protests now are so stupid now. Why they're stupid now, not before. Because now at the end of the day, I'm going to go there. I'm going to have a good time. I made a sign. You know, I beat racism and I'm better than that white supremacist. I'm way better than him. Right? He's racist. He's a jerk. He's an asshole. I'm good. I'm the epitome. I'm like the perfect example of a human being. We know that's a bunch of crap. So before you start pointing the finger at everybody else and wanting to like come together, work on yourself. That's what I realized. I realized my community is racist as hell. You know what I mean? If you're darker skinned, oh my God, you can't get married to that person. I mean, if they come from another caste, hey, you can't be with them. That's racism right there. So before I look at anybody else and say they're racist, I got to look in the mirror and realize that I'm racist myself. There's a story that I told at the Love Over Fear rally, the first one, where it was about a guy that he committed suicide off the Brooklyn Bridge. The police went to his apartment, which was miles away, and they found a suicide note. Now, the suicide note, it said, I'm going to walk from here to the bridge, and if even one person smiles at me, I won't jump. Nobody smiled. Do you smile at people? That's the question I always have to ask myself. Am I being kind to people? Am I judging them? Because any moment that I'm judging somebody else, I know that I'm judging myself. Any moment I see a negative somebody else, it's something that I have in myself. So I know right now the world is just like an uproar. I'm a Muslim. You can't tell me that I don't feel Islamophobia and all this, but I realize I can be a victim or I can work on myself. And I can go and meet these people that are so-called maybe racist or they're afraid of me and have a conversation with them. And I'm telling you, every single time after that, they've looked at me differently. You smile. If you're a Muslim, the Prophet said something. The sunnah was what? To smile. Smile at people, man. Don't be, you gotta be freaky or creepy about it. But you know what I mean? Like a smile goes a long way. So honestly, I know it's tough right now. I know that everyone's emotions are high, but realize we are in this together, but change comes from within. We live in Vancouver, Canada. I remember the biggest protest we had was when the Stanley Cup playoffs when we lost. You know what I mean? There's a difference between the protests here and the protests around the world. I call it privileged protesting. At the end of the day, I'm going to come for a couple hours and I felt like I did something and then I leave, but nothing has changed. Whereas you look at any place around, other places around the world, at the end of the day, they're not leaving because they truly believe in it. So we got to stop privileged protesting, man. We got to stop being there for a couple of hours and pretending that we care. If we cared, man, we'd live it. We'd breathe it. We wouldn't just go to an event for a couple hours, take some pictures, post it on social media and say, hey, you know what? I'm against racism. I love refugees. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired. But I know there's a lot more people that are tired as well. Good? What do you guys think of that?